Well, everybody, the hope is alive for the Dodgers. We're going to Game 7, everybody. Wow, what an end to that game. Let's break into it. If you're joining me, definitely let me know how you're feeling after that Game 6 win. It was dicey there for a little bit. Let me know in the comments what you thought about that win. Wow. All right. I don't even know where to start. I guess we have to start with that last play there in the 9th inning. Tyler Glasnow coming out of the bullpen. He was initially scheduled to be tomorrow's starter, but he comes in and only has to pitch. How many pitches did he end up throwing? He ends up throwing only 3 pitches, 2 of them for strikes, ends up getting both final outs of that 9th inning to bail out Roki Sasaki. Wow, what an ending. And then you have Kike Hernandez there with that heads-up play to get the runner out at second. I think this is a huge gut punch for the Toronto Blue Jays heading into Game 7. They had all this momentum, winning the last 2 games here in Dodger Stadium, getting to go back home for Game 6 and 7. It seemed like a little bit that they had it in the bag. You had Kevin Gausman going for Game 6, Max Scherzer for Game 7. They had a great chance to win this game in multiple occasions, but Yamamoto, with his dominant start, the Dodgers did just enough on the offensive side of the ball, and the bullpen held it together, which has been the big issue. So let's start with that play there in the 9th inning, just because that's front of mind right now. Let me pull up the stats, make sure I get all the names right. You have Roki Sasaki going out there for his 2nd inning of the game. He hits Alejandro Kirk on a 2-strike count. Kirk gets sent down there. He gets pinch run for by Miles Straw. And then we have a call on the field upheld. Addison Barger doubling to center field. That's the one that got stuck in the wall. Thankfully there, that was the Dodgers getting bailed out there, or else the Dodgers could have been 3-2, 1-run lead there in the 9th inning. Still no outs at this point. Thankfully, that ball gets stuck in the wall. It's 2nd and 3rd with no outs. Ernie Clement pops out. That's the first out that Tyler Glasnow gets. So he got all 3 outs. And then here we go. Andres Gimenez has done so well for these Blue Jays. They got him in a trade with the Guardians. And since he's come to the Blue Jays, especially in this postseason, the way he stepped up in that 9 spot or later in that lineup, and not just a contact hitter, but an RBI hitter as well, driving in runs. He did a great job just getting his barrel on the ball, but caught there in left field. Kike got a great chump on that. And then the awareness of mind to go to second base. That's why Kike Hernandez is so valuable in the postseason. His baseball awareness and that ability that he has to come through in clutch moments, second to none at this point. He's a Dodgers legend. And if that play ends up leading the Dodgers to a Game 7 victory, back-to-back World Series championships, it's that play that's going to be replayed over and over again. Wow, what an ending. So Tyler Glasnow coming in the 9th inning, what implications does that have on the rest of the Dodgers series? Initially, it seemed like he was going to be the Game 7 starter. Now, he only had to pitch 3 pitches in that 9th inning. It's definitely a possibility. The other option was Shohei Ohtani. On the broadcast, they mentioned that it seems like with Tyler Glasnow coming out, Shohei would be the Game 7 starter, at least to open up the game for a few bulk innings. But with Glasnow having such a short appearance, it might still be possible for him to give the Dodgers around 4 or 5 innings. If you're just joining the stream, my name is Alan Maurice. I'm the host of All Things Dodgers. I try to do near daily breakdowns of the Dodger games, especially now in the postseason when it matters most. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of this win, that final play? We're going to get into Yamamoto a little bit later. Let me know. This is an amazing win. Just hope is alive. Honestly, heading into this game, I was running a little bit low on optimism. A lot of it was because of the lineup and the way that they've performed, and we'll get into that as well. They did just enough today. But let me know, what was your main concern and what are you expecting for Game 7? We'll get into tomorrow's starter as well. Before our main talking point, we have to go back to Yamamoto. We know the story. He came into this postseason. He was the only Dodgers starting pitcher that didn't end up on the injured list this season. And to see the way that he has taken off as the secured Dodgers ace this season has been spectacular. You saw it develop over the course of the season. I honestly thought he was going to wear down as the season went on, but he never did. He's still in August, September throwing near no hitters against the Orioles. And so the way he has developed even in October, in the postseason, when the lights are brightest, when the situation matters the most, he threw 2 complete games, one in the NLCS, one in the World Series. Today, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, allowed only 1 earned run, and 6 strikeouts. And he had that dominant look in his eye. One of the main quotes that was going around the clubhouse in these past few weeks was Yamamoto's losing is not an option. We saw Kike wear it on his shirt today for batting practice, for the workouts. That's the mentality that Yamamoto brings to this Dodgers team. It was mentioned a lot today how Game 6 in the NPB postseason, he went out there for a 138 pitch appearance, complete game, 14 strikeouts, just has that dog mentality, no quit, no losing. He wants to start games, finish them, like Dave Roberts said, and really take on that responsibility for whatever team he's playing for. I'm just happy it's with the Dodgers, and you can see how it paid off. My mom, I was watching it with my parents. My mom said he has that Captain America, I can do this all day look. He wants to be on that mound. This is what he signed that over $300 million contract for, to be in these situations with the Dodgers. Back-to-back years for Yamamoto with the Dodgers, his first 2, both times making it to the World Series. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? We have Michael Ruiz. Yes, hope is alive. The Dodgers don't quit. Crystal, thank you for the comment as well. Yeah, get some more comments in here. How are we feeling after this win? How are we feeling? Okay, breaking into Yamamoto's start a little bit more. We talked a little bit in a short earlier today, his wide arsenal of pitches, the fastball, the splitter, curveball, lots of different avenues he can take. And we also talked about how well does he do with mixing up that first pitch in his starts. And he did a very good job at keeping runners off base or off balance as well. Both of those, off base also. Not a lot of hard contact. That's where the Dodgers have gotten in trouble in this series. Once they let the Blue Jays get on base and just scrap there to get first base, second base, maybe make a bad defensive play, they get the third. Once they get that little hope and momentum just in one singular inning, they've been able to cash in and execute with runners in scoring position. That's something the Dodgers haven't really been able to do as well this postseason. So Yamamoto limited the guys that got on base, and he really just took off from there. Really consistent outing. He did benefit from 2 different double plays. And Joe Davis mentioned during the broadcast that he has seen the biggest increase in ground ball rate, the ground balls that he's inducing. That's the biggest increase in the league. That's what he's been inducing this year. Let's see. What are your thoughts on using Glasnow as a closer? It worked, but what are my thoughts? It worked. He was scheduled to be tomorrow's Game 7 starter, not officially, but that's the way it was trending. So we mentioned a little bit earlier, but he only had to pitch three pitches in that 9th inning to get the 3 outs. I think they could try to push him to be a Game 7 starter for tomorrow. The other option would be Shohei Ohtani. He is pitching on, what would that be? It would be 1, 2, that's maybe 4 days of rest for Ohtani. He did have to play in all those 18 innings in Game 3 and then pitch in Game 4. So a lot of stress on his body. I didn't really think they were going to have him start, but they did explain in the broadcast a little bit of the rules of what would have to happen. If the Dodgers have Shohei Ohtani start in Game 7, they can eventually take him out. Let's say he gets kind of blown up. They get lots of runs off of him, or he just taxes out maybe in the 6th inning. They can take him out and he still remains in the lineup as a hitter. That's what they've been doing with him over the course of the season as both a pitcher and a hitter. But if they put him in later in the game, maybe to relieve Tyler Glasnow, if they go that route, then Shohei Ohtani would either have to close out the game, or if he doesn't close out the game, now he has to be taken out of the game unless he plays the field. And so that would be an outfield situation for Shohei Ohtani. Hasn't really seen much of that, especially I think since 2018 was the last time he played the outfield. Dave Roberts earlier today said that they didn't really have that kind of conversation yet. Shohei Ohtani pitching today wasn't an option. But for Game 7, everything's on the table. So he said that after today, they win. What are the options for Game 7? And so they said that they would be having those conversations to see should Shohei play the outfield if possible. That would be in a situation to have Tyler Glasnow pitch as the starter. I honestly would prefer that because if you have Shohei Ohtani start, no Glasnow at all because of what he did tonight, then who comes in after Ohtani? Is it Blake Snell? Is he ready pitching on, I think that would be maybe 5 days of rest? He's a potential option. Would Roki Sasaki be open to coming back out, taking some bulk innings after Ohtani? It's the bullpen that has been really weak this postseason and really all season. So that would be something to consider. I think Glasnow starting, if he's available and healthy, would be the better choice in having Ohtani take over after him. See masterclass in defense today, especially from Rojas. Absolutely. Who's available in the bullpen tomorrow? Yeah, okay. So Ohtani concentrating on offense while doing the two-way duties. That's definitely something to consider. We saw in Game 4 of the NLCS, he was able to do both sides of the ball pretty well. But who's available in the bullpen? Well, they used Robleski today. They used Roki Sasaki and Tyler Glasnow. So they have Jack Dreyer. They have Anthony Banda. Edgardo Henriquez, Clayton Kershaw, Will Klein, Emmett Sheehan started warming up in the bullpen today. He never came out. Those are all guys that are available that didn't have to pitch today. They could have Justin Robleski go out again tomorrow. He only pitched 1 inning. I thought that was a bit of a surprise. So they could have him go back out. And then, again, Roki Sasaki. Those are the guys that are available. Let me know down in the comments who is a guy who you think would be a good choice to go to in the bullpen for tomorrow. Who's in your trust tree when it comes to the bullpen? And then we have another question. What odd chance the Dodgers can win tomorrow? I think anything can happen tomorrow, which is why it was so important for the Dodgers to win tonight. It's a Game 7. We always talk about in baseball how anything can happen in a singular game. What are the chances that that ball gets stuck in the wall there in the 9th inning? You just never know what's going to happen that can shift the momentum in a series or even in a game and can lead to a World Series winner. So what are the chances? I say pretty good. We'll get into also who's pitching for the Blue Jays. It's most likely going to be Max Scherzer is who is scheduled there. Shane Bieber's available as well. Scherzer did allow 2 home runs in his last start against the Dodgers. I like the Dodgers' chances going into Game 7. I feel like they have that momentum. Grab some water real quick. Thoughts on Klein starting? And then we have the Kobe quote, "Job's not done." That's right. One more game, the job. One more game to accomplish the job, to finish the job. But thoughts on Klein starting? I understand why they've stayed away from Will Klein in the past few games, in the past 3 games. Will Klein had only pitched 1 inning in his professional career, at least in the major leagues. So to have him go out for those 4 scoreless innings was, I don't want to say a fluke, but it was something that they had never really planned for or had seen from Will Klein. I wouldn't be surprised if they're having daily conversations to see how he's recovered from that, to see if it's possible when they can fit him into a game. But to have him start, I don't really see him going more than 2 innings. Just because the 4 was really spectacular. He's really used to going only 1. But good start. Good idea, possibly as an opener situation. We've seen them do that for maybe Anthony Banda opening up a game. Job's not done. Yeah, okay. So keep putting in your comments. What do you think of today's win? Talked about Yamamoto. He did start losing command there in that 6th inning. To be honest, I would have kept him in for the 7th. It worked out with Robleski, but you did see him losing a little bit of control there. A 7-pitch at bat to Bo Bichette. He ended up finishing with 96 pitches. And like we mentioned, he pitched 2 complete games. He never went on the injury list for the Dodgers this season, so he's been their workhorse all season long. So I understand the decision to take him out. What does dead ball mean? So that means that the ball was hit in a situation where it's kind of out of play. So in that situation, the ball gets hit to the wall and it gets lodged between the wall and the dirt. It's kind of like almost out of bounds in a way. It's still within the foul lines, but it's treated like a Yeah, out of play type of situation. Um, Let me know if that answered your question, or maybe ask a follow-up question. I should have explained that a little bit better. I can actually look up the official definition. Dead ball in baseball. A dead ball in baseball is a ball that is out of play and halts the game until play is resumed. So that would explain why, once that ball got lodged in the wall, umpires and even the players put their hands up and said, "Stop the game! Stop the game! This is a dead ball. Everybody go back to their assigned positions," and kind of resume once everything comes back to normal. All right, what else can we talk about? Automatic double, then absolutely, yeah. So then, since what was the situation? There was a guy on. Did Alejandro Kirk hit by pitch? Yeah. So since there was a runner on first, there's an automatic double. So then that runner gets put on second. That runner that was on first gets put on third. No run score in that situation. Alrighty, let's talk about the lineup real quick. There was a lot of talk before this game about the lineup construction. There was some reconstruction in Game 5, even more in Game 6. Most notable was putting Mookie Betts there in the cleanup spot. So let me know down in the comments, what did you guys think of Mookie Betts in the cleanup spot? He ended up having the big swing in this game, a 2-run single. That came in the third inning. That was actually after Will Smith's RBI double. And so here's why I think this was a really good idea. You have Shohei Ohtani. We know Ohtani is a threat whenever he's in the box. You have Will Smith, who's been one of their hottest hitters over the course of the season. Great in RBI situations, in just moving the guys over, passing the baton to the next guy in the order. Then you have Freddie Freeman, who has been consistent. We could see some more consistency out of him. That would be preferred. But then you have those three guys that have been arguably their best hitters all clumped together. So they're trying to maximize the ability to get runners on base and move them around the bases instead of having them spread out, relatively spread out the way they were. And so I think that was a great move. And really, Mookie Betts in the cleanup spot, I didn't think much of that, as much of like, okay, they need to get him out of the way so that they can clump those hitters together. But they said in the broadcast that Dave Roberts had a conversation with Mookie Betts and said, you are going to be the guy who is responsible for bringing these runs in. You're the cleanup hitter. Go do your thing. Whatever happened earlier this season, all the outside trials you had, all the struggles you've been having in October, all of that, just push it aside. Push it aside. Focus on being good today. Mookie Betts had his head held down there in Game 5. After Game 5, he said, I've been terrible. He admitted it. But he went out there today focusing on what he can do to help this team win tonight. So he gets that 2-run single in the third inning. He also showed some really good plate discipline. He had another walk later on that loaded the bases. That was, what inning was that? That was in the 7th inning. He did commit an error in the 5th inning on the defensive side of the ball. But going into today, he's left over 20 men on base in the postseason this year. But today, he did the job. He did what he was out there to do. I think it was a great move. I'm really curious to see what Dave Roberts does in Game 7. Do you think Dave Roberts should stick with this lineup construction? Let me know what you guys think. What did you think of Mookie there? Will Smith in the second spot. Yeah, glad to see Mookie swinging at first pitch today. Yeah, changing up his mentality a little bit, his approach at the plate. That was good to see. All right, a little bit of aggression from these guys. And I loved seeing their celebration at the end of the game. I feel like the Dodgers, they shy away from showing their emotions during the games, which is understandable. The job's not finished mentality. Don't go crazy. Nothing's happened yet. But yes, Crystal, glad to see the confidence back. It's the confidence, but also seeing the results. And that's the eruption of the celebration. Going into today, I was hoping that if they, got a home run or something happens where they're now in the lead, that they would show that emotion. Let those emotions run through them and propel them to continue to stay strong and keep that momentum going. So to see that at the end of the game, even Will Smith, who's really stoic and straight-faced, but to see him let out those yells, pump those fists, yeah, this is great. This is we're going to Game 7. Let that momentum flow through you and really propel you. And push you. And so I love seeing that out of the Dodgers, letting that inner child, they're all big children playing this game that they're experts at. So to see that side of them come out, I love it. I think that's what the postseason's for. Um, yes, love Will. Yeah, Will has been so clutch for the Dodgers this season. I think besides Shohei Ohtani being the obvious MVP for the team because over 50 home runs and then what he did on the pitching side of the ball, besides that, Will Smith's my MVP for this season for sure. All right, breaking down more of the lineup construction, we have Miguel Rojas was a big addition. He hasn't started in the game for a while, and I really like what he said in his interview today before the game. He said a lot of good things that I feel like we as Dodger fans were hoping they would adopt as their mindset, such as focus on every single pitch. Don't wait for the what's the word? Don't wait for that intensity to come later in the game. You go in that box, your job is to get on base. Every single pitch matters. And I think you saw a little bit more of that today. It was that do or die mentality. If we don't get the job done, we're going home. And so they really focus on every single pitch from 1 through 9 down the lineup, better swing decisions, not early on in the game. I mean, Gausman had their number early on in the game, but focusing on every single pitch, having that intensity right off the jump. He also said something about don't push yourself to do something that isn't in your toolbox. So Shohei Ohtani, we know what he's capable of, but maybe Miguel Rojas himself, he's not going to be a 50-plus home run guy. So when he's at the box, what's his approach? Should it be to hit a bomb? No. Your role is to get on base, maybe hit a ball the other way, bunt in situations where you have to. Do what you are there to do. What's your role in the lineup? That's something that the Blue Jays did very well, at least in this series and beyond it. They have guys up and down that lineup that they're not hitting home runs every single at bat like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but their job is to get on base. Dalton Varsho, Ernie Clement, Alejandro Kirk has actually shown some surprising power, but they've been able to role play very well up and down that lineup. And I think the Dodgers carrying that mentality that Miguel Rojas is talking about will do a great number for them going forward into Game 7. So I like that mentality. Dave Roberts said he made the decision to put Rojas in there because he's a glue guy. He adds intensity to that lineup and to the defense. We saw him make that barehanded play there to get the runner out at second. That was a big moment to get Yamamoto out of a jam. I believe it was Yamamoto, but it's what he brings to the team. He's a leader. When you see him do their celebrations down in the clubhouse before their champagne celebrations, he's the one giving a message to the team as they take their shots. He's the one that addresses everybody and is the vocal leader in that clubhouse. So once he takes the field, it's like, okay, captain's out. Captain's out here. He's with us. He's behind us. He's going to be there in the mix with us as we go through this ride together. So having Miguel in there definitely worked out today. Yep. Some fire emojis. Miguel Rojas was fire. Fire moves from Dave Roberts, at least on the lineup side of things. One other guy, just talking about the reconstruction of this lineup real quick before we move on. Teoscar Hernandez. I have some issues with Teoscar right now. We saw what he did there with the bases loaded late in the game. It was the 8th inning. That was their chance to tack on runs. And he strikes out on a fastball that was away by at least a foot. So the swing decisions on Teoscar's side have been very questionable. Let me see, did I have any more notes on that? He left 5 runners on base today. It was that strikeout in the 8th. It wasn't even a breaking ball. And so when he's at the plate, it's been a little bit boom or bust. The Dodgers haven't been taking advantage of the opportunities, unlike the Blue Jays. Thankfully, it was just enough for them to stay in front. But yes, he swung at every single ball in that at-bat. So we know that he likes the pressure, having the lights shine on him, and he wants to come through in those big moments. I just wonder if there's a little bit of pressing on his part. I don't know what's going on internally, maybe mechanically with his swing, but I'm glad that he wasn't in the cleanup spot today. It was Mookie Betts because, yes, the swing decisions have been a little bit, sometimes irrational, a little bit aggressive. Just some concern there from Teoscar. Looks a little bit more like the Teoscar Hernandez of earlier this season. They all do. He needs to slow it down and breathe. Yeah, Yeah, take what the Blue Jays pitchers are giving you, right? Yep. I agree. All right, if you're just joining us, welcome to All Things Dodgers. My name is Alan Ruiz. I do some breakdowns of the Dodger games, try to get into the analysis of things, look at the players, look at the trends. This is actually my first live stream. I thought it was the perfect chance to do it. World Series, Game 6, going into Game 7. We talked a little bit about Yamamoto, the lineup construction with Mookie Betts in the cleanup spot. So if you're just joining us, thank you so much. This live stream is powered by StreamYard. Thank you so much for joining. Let me know down in the comments what or who is your MVP of the game, actually. Is it Yamamoto? Is it Kike Hernandez with that final play? Is it Mookie Betts? Let me know. Let's start that discussion. Yeah, discipline is definitely a big factor. Will Smith. Okay, there you go. Will Smith. Let me see. Looking at his stats for today. Yeah, Will Smith, since he came in 2019, he just broke onto the scene. Never looked back. Let's see, Will Smith, he went 1 for 3 today with 1 walk and only 1 strikeout. In this postseason, he's batting .269 with a 713 OPS, all while healing from an injured hand. But yes, Kike Hernandez for this game. He had some pop-outs, some disappointing at-bats, but what he did in that 9th inning, I think, is going to be such a momentum boost, a morale boost as well for this Dodgers, because like we mentioned, Game 7, anything could happen. All right, yes, loving Will Smith, absolutely. Let's just real quick give some credit to Kevin Gausman. He opened up this game on a heater. Man, his splitter was lights out. Let me see. We had lots of chase for sure. He struck out the side in the first inning, 5 strikeouts over the first 2 innings, all on the splitter. It was that arm side run for the splitter, and it was just fooling guys, whether they were left-handed or right-handed batters. He did get 2 strikeouts in the 3rd inning. I made this note here. 2 strikeouts in the 3rd inning on pitches that weren't even strikes, so he got some help from the umpire. But yeah, Kevin Gausman, he's one of their best pitchers. If you can factor in Trey Savage as well, what he's done might be their best pitcher right now. But over the course of the season, Kevin Gausman has been their ace. Yep. George Springer, I also made a note here, RBI single the other way there in the 3rd inning. What he's done to be able to make it back onto the field, not just in the World Series, but in the ALCS with that Game 7 go-ahead home run, and then here returning to the lineup. He gets that RBI single, makes the game 3-1. Not ideal for Yamamoto's start or for the Dodgers' chances, but there was no panic. I never really felt any panic. Didn't seem like Yamamoto did as well. Yamamoto, he gave up that leadoff homer in Game 2 of the NLCS and then went on to pitch a complete game. So he doesn't panic. There's no stress in that guy. They once said during one of the broadcasts, this guy doesn't sweat. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He wants to be in that moment. Gives up an RBI single to Springer. He just kept attacking the hitters and gave the Dodgers a chance to really make it deep into this game and hold on to a victory. All right, let's see what else can we get into. Opposing pitching for Game 7. Let's bring up this banner. I haven't been bringing these up. There we go. Yeah, still learning this program. Opposing pitcher for Game 7. Max Scherzer. It's going to be Max Scherzer against the Dodgers in his last start. He went 4 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, 1 to Shohei, 1 to Teoscar with 3 strikeouts. Shane Bieber is available. I think the pitching matchup is going to be really similar for the Dodgers tomorrow. I think they're going to try to have Tyler Glasnow go out and pitch, start the game, and or Shohei Ohtani, one of the two, but it's going to be a piggyback type of situation, and I believe it's going to be the same for Max Scherzer and Shane Bieber. So good pitchers on both sides. The Dodgers have gotten to both in the past. Shane Bieber did really well against the Dodgers. I really like their chances right now with the momentum on their side. All right, any last comments? Yeah, they all need the boost. Yeah, absolutely. Dave Roberts face planning racing Ha-Seong Kim was also a boost. Not in game, but outside of the game. Yeah, lots of morale boost in the past few hours. All right, drop in your last few comments. If you haven't gotten to who's your MVP of the game, or what are your thoughts? What are your expectations and hopes for Game 7? then we'll be heading out of here. But man, wow. I did not see this coming. I expected a game 6 win, but not the way it ended. I'd love to see some more offense though tacking on. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Let me take down this banner. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Alan Maurice. Please come back the next time. This is my first live stream for all things Dodgers, but if you are new to the channel, definitely check out my videos. I try to do them near daily, just looking at the different player trends, analysis of the team, try to get into the statistics of it. I'm a current UCLA student studying statistics and data science. I'd love to get into sports analytics or even journalism on the sports side of things as a future career. So please support my journey on the channel. I've seen a huge subscriber rise on the YouTube side and Instagram side of things in the past few months. So if you want to contribute, absolutely feel free to subscribe, leave comments on my videos, send it to any of your friends who you think would be interested to support my journey. I really appreciate it. Go Dodgers. Any last comments here? Yeah, so Ohtani to hit a home run. One more Ohtani home run this season. Absolutely. Let's do it in Game 7 tomorrow. And then MVP Yamamoto. Yes, absolutely. I think the Dodgers don't win this game without Yamamoto's performance. The legend of Yamamoto grows every time he takes the field. He didn't even have to pitch last time, but just him offering to warm up in Game 3 to pitch a potential 19th inning in Game 3, that was legendary stuff. And then what he did today to keep the Dodgers' hopes alive. MVP level performance. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great night. Game 7 tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Make sure to tune in. I won't be able to do a live stream then, but I'll definitely be breaking down everything in the coming days. This is an amazing series. The Dodgers have a chance to make history tomorrow. First team to go back-to-back in World Series championships since the Yankees in 1999 and 2000. So tune into the Dodgers. Stay tuned for my videos in the coming days. And go Dodgers. Let's go. Let's go. Let's ride this momentum to a Game 7 win, watching this team make history. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Crystal, Maggie, Michael, Juana as well. I really appreciate your comments. Have a good night, everybody. Go Dodgers.